Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you are new here, my name is Elena and I'm the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos. And here on the channel, we talk about homeschooling and homemaking and all the things in between. Today is going to be one of those kind of in between things because we're going to talk about goals and yearly versus quarterly and kind of how we're just looking at it all. So this year we decided to set more of family type goals. Typically I will set out like individual goals, and I try to encourage my kids at the beginning of the homeschool year to set out goals for their homeschool year. Do you set yearly resolutions or goals? No?
No.
So this year I kind of just roped him into it and asked him if he wanted to do more family type goals or something we can work on together as a family. Last year I was blessed enough to be in a small women's group, and we worked together throughout the year on the beginning of the year. We set out some areas of life we wanted to concentrate on, and then we broke things up quarterly, and I found that really worked well for me. So I'm going to approach this year in the same kind of manner. So like I said, there were 7 areas of our life that we were asked to look at. Those areas were, the first was our finances, the second was our health, the third area was relationships, and the fourth was work or career. The fifth area was spiritual, and the sixth area was your home or possessions. And finally, the seventh area was rest and rejuvenation. So of those 7, we were asked to pick 3 to kind of hone in on and just kind of put at the forefront of our year and what we wanted to concentrate on and think about. Last year, I picked for my top 3 spiritual, relationships, and my health. And this year, we're going to go with the same ones. Right?
I think I'm going to jump into that too.
Right.
Spiritual, health, and relationship.
And the reason that I have picked these because I felt that these were really kind of foundational things for me in my life, and I just felt like without my spiritual walk being cemented in Christ and just really having that firm foundation, the rest of it was not going to prosper or do well at all. And then I just kind of felt the same for the other 2. If I didn't have health, how could I better serve my family? And then if I didn't concentrate on our relationships, in particular last year, I had my focus on my marriage and just making sure that I was keeping that at the forefront of my mind and making sure that I was kind of serving you in the best way that I could, but taking time out of our days and our weeks and months to carve out time together.
And I think that really improved, and we grew together. I felt like we grew closer. We definitely felt like we grew closer. We just had a little more fun with each other.
Yeah. So, well, I'm glad to hear it worked. But your relationships can be anything. It can be, like for me, my concentration was marriage, but I also wanted to be sure that I was kind of just putting my little family here, keeping that my first ministry, if you will. So this year we're going to do the same top 3, I guess. And it doesn't mean that you can't throughout the year touch on other things as you've seen or maybe not seen. In some of my previous monthly goal videos, I do have other areas where I set goals in, but my main concerns or my main areas that I really wanted to be focusing on were those 3. So for this year, we've decided that we're going to keep those top 3, but instead of it just being for me, we're going to do it more of a family style goal and kind of set up things quarterly, I think is what we agreed on. We would touch base quarterly.
Yeah, quarterly.
Instead of monthly. To see how we're doing in these areas. So for our first area, we are going to concentrate on our spiritual. We're going to keep, I don't know how to say it. We're going to keep growing in our relationship with Christ and just building that firm foundation. And then I think not just personally, although that is something we most definitely want to have, but for our children as well.
That's one of the things that I want to do is work on foundation for myself to, if I don't have a good foundation, how am I going to help with my kids and with my wife and my overall relationships with everyone? And that's definitely one I want to work on, between myself, with you, and just with the kids. That's definitely something I really want to try to work on a lot better this year.
So practically speaking, what does that look like for our first quarter? For me, I have picked out a new Bible in a Year plan that I'm reading. I finished last year, was reading the Bible chronologically with the Bible recap. I have mentioned that a few times on the channel, and this year I just kind of looked at my Bible plan and picked out a different one. I'm going to be completely honest and say I don't know if I'm going to stick with this one, but I'm going to try. So I picked a new Bible reading plan out. I have the Bible app on my phone, and I went through and scrolled and looked for a plan to read, and that's how I picked it. So I want to be sure that I'm doing that, and then I also this quarter want to focus in on making sure that I am getting quiet time in. I'm not so much concerned with it that it's first thing in the morning, although ideally that is when I would be able to do it. But I want to make sure that at some point in the day, I'm getting some quiet time in with the Lord. And the reason that I say that I'm giving myself grace in doing it not first thing in the morning is because I know myself and I know my life, and I know that some mornings are harder than others. And so sometimes if I don't get that quiet time in first thing in the morning, I can tell myself that, well, I didn't get it done in the morning, so it just didn't get done today. And so you want to make sure that I'm not doing that. If for whatever reason the morning gets crazy, or I'm awoken by a child in the night or something like that, and I just am having a hard time getting up in the morning, if I don't get that morning quiet time in, I want to make sure that I get it in at some point in the day. I want to make sure that I'm not telling myself the day is a wash because I didn't get it in the morning. So for this first quarter, that's something that I just kind of want to concentrate and concrete on, is making sure that I'm getting quiet time in with God at some point in the day. And then the other thing that I want to be doing is making sure that I'm checking in with my husband to see how he is doing with his walk, and if there's anything that I can be doing to be of assistance. Can I be praying for you, or can we do it maybe together? Maybe we'll look at a couple devotions. Whatever it is that he feels he needs, I want to make sure that I'm being supportive to that and just kind of checking in and asking you.
And that's for me that I have to. I'm gonna dink and dunk on different ones to see what sticks, what kind of gets some traction, because if I have a hard time just sticking to one, then I'll just start fading away. But like that, at least if I start dipping into a little bit of one, various ones, maybe I find one that finally sticks and start getting into a routine that I want to do.
I think that's important, though, is that if you can't find one that sticks, that you don't just quit and you're like, let me find something else then. If this didn't work for me, I'll try something else. And I think that oftentimes when we set resolutions or goals or things like that, we're like, oh, it didn't work, so I'm just going to throw in the towel and be done with it. But like for me, if I start this Bible plan and it is just too much for me, or I feel like I want to go back to the Bible recap, I can do that. I don't want to say it didn't work, so the whole year is not going to work and I'm not going to read it. If that's not how your quiet time is working for you, then finding a different way of doing it, like just trying different sorts of ways and seeing which one is going to be the key for you. And as you go through life, like seasons change and you have different things that are happening. So sometimes you have to switch it up throughout the year to just find what fits best for you at that time. But I think the key takeaway is that we want to be sure that we're growing closer and making that a priority.
Yeah, definitely,
right?
yeah.
Tying into our spiritual goals and relationship goals is our kids' relationship and kind of nurturing their spiritual walk and their relationship with Christ. And so with that, we have kind of set out a few things that we want to continue on doing. Well, I'll let you.
One of the things that we did that we are going to do again is going to try to do devotionals into the night before bedtime, just to get them settle in, a little more calm down, so it helps them sleep as well. And we definitely do notice that when we do get an opportunity to read to them and the devotionals, they seem to just wake up in a better mood.
They wake up in a better mood and they stay in their bed longer. So what we are doing is going into the room at night, and typically my husband will go ahead and start it because the kids have been away from him all day, so they really crave that time with their dad. And I typically do Bible study with them in the morning before school starts and things like that. But he'll read a devotional, and then I'll come in there towards the end and stuff. Usually I'm just kind of tidying up and cleaning, doing that stuff. But we'll go in and then pray over them, pray together as a family, just so that they kind of have that good closure to the day, and they just are going to sleep on a good note,
Yeah.
right?
And that's what we're trying to get to. Is just for everybody. I think even myself, I feel good in the day like that.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that, especially in this first quarter, we're really going to concentrate on as practical, working on a relationship, and it does tie in with our spiritual walk, is making sure that we're doing that kind of bedtime. Part of our bedtime routine is making sure that we're reading the devotional to them and praying with them. Our last area that we're really going to focus on this year, again, is going to be our health and fitness, or
just our overall health. Overall health, we're not trying to be athletes, but we just want to overall just be able to take care of ourselves so we can keep up with the kids and just stay as healthy as possible. And nothing major. I mean, we have personal goals that we got going on, but I think overall it's more still going to tie in with the first two, with everything that we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And the way that it ties in is, I know I've spoken before on this channel when I'm working out that sometimes I will listen to worship music, or I'll listen to a sermon or something like that. And a lot of times God will speak to me, or I feel His presence. I'll have little breakthroughs when I'm working out, because it is just kind of my time in my head with Him. And to me, it's beautiful that there's no stone unturned with Him, that there's no place you can go and you can't talk to Him. But also it ties in with our children, because for me, on my end, I really want my kids, especially my daughter, and I say especially my daughter because she's my girl, to see her mommy working out, and to see me continue to strive to reach goals and to be a better, healthier version of me. When we say we don't have like these huge goals to be pro athletes or anything like that, I just want to feel better in my clothes. I want to feel like I'm able to keep up and play with my kids better, not get winded so quickly. And I think, just especially given everything these past couple of years, people are really honing in and paying attention to their health and how we can be taking care of the bodies that God gave us. And so I think that that's important for my kiddos to see mommy not quit. You'll see my fitness journey on this channel. I go back and I've fallen off the wagon, and yesterday we were just talking about this, but it's important that they see us get back on and keep trying and keep doing. So I will have some more finite goals, but that will be probably in a separate video where I talk about my fitness journey a little bit more for myself. But I think overall, for this first quarter, we just like to get back into the rhythm of working out.
Just a jump start. We need a jump start. And again, ties in with all three of them. I think we all need a jump start, and that just we get healthier, a little bit stronger. Jump starting into that. Other than that, I mean, I think that's we have a pretty good.
Just making it a habit.
Make it a habit. Get into back. It's a foundation just to get into a routine.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of just this first quarter. In that health section, what we're going to kind of focus on, just making sure that we're getting back into the habit and the rhythm of working out again, because we kind of fell off that for a while. And in the winter, I'll be honest, it is hard out here. The snow and everything just kind of makes you want to stay in bed and stay warm, so it can be hard to get up and get moving, but it's worth it. So I've never had a workout where I finished and I felt like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Right? Like after you work out, you're always so glad that you did it. So I think that's it. That's just kind of how we're going to approach the year, and looking at some of our foundations and areas that we want to concentrate on and keep focus on. And then, like I said, we will break it down. For my husband, he's going to break it down more quarterly and just be like, this 3 months is what I want to work on. For me, I do better when I break it down quarterly, and then I do, as you've seen, or maybe not seen, some of the other videos where I break down monthly goals and then continue like that. But for our overarching view, these are the 3 areas that we're going to be working on and working towards this year. I'd love to know how you are setting up any goals or any areas that you're going to focus on. If you are going to try this approach, comment down below and let us know which areas of your life that you'd like to focus on for this new year. And if not, how you approach them, or if you're just not going to approach them at all and take it day by day. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. I appreciate you taking your time out and watching the video, hanging out with us and listening to us. If you haven't already subscribed, maybe consider watching a few videos, and if you like them, subscribe and joining our little YouTube family. And if you are already a subscriber, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it again. Thanks for watching. Now I need you to stop laughing so I can talk.
All right.
Are you sure?
No.
It's just gonna be a video of bloopers. Not gonna have any content. Just us laughing at the camera. You don't have to be talking like me, but I got my script. It's not a script. Oh my god. We won't be doing these quarterly. We'll just, this is a one-shot deal.
Fail.